But all right, guys, the New York Giants are now 1-4 after what was an embarrassing loss here to the New Orleans Saints. 5 turnovers on the day. The Giants somehow find a way to make it go from bad to worse. 1-4. Jackson Dart struggling on the road for the first time in his career here against the Saints, and the Saints picking up their first win of the season, the first win of Spencer Rattler's career, 11 starts into his career. This is another stain on the resume of Brian Daboll and another truly embarrassing performance from the New York Giants. Alex, what's your one-word reaction to this loss?
My one word, God, I have so many words. My one word is expected. This is expected. The Giants have positioned themselves to be expected to play down to their competition, to play well below it. I said it before the game started. The Giants need to play above it. Jackson Dart needs to rise and elevate the benchmark, and he failed to do that today. He fell ill to the usual Giants crap. We fall to our opponents, and we play at their level. We don't play at ours, right? We beat ourselves. We lose because of it. We're poorly coached. We're poorly disciplined. We have no consequences for mistakes. Darius Slayton is trotted back out there no matter how many times he drops the ball. Jalen Hyatt had multiple opportunities to make plays. Didn't come down with a single one. Bo Collins dropped 2 passes in like 3 freaking attempts. This is a poorly coached team with poor offensive talent across the board without Neighbors in there. It is quite obvious. But they scored 2 touchdowns off the bat, and then everything goes to hell. They lost the momentum, and they never regained it. This is expected. This is what Brian Daboll has done to this organization, as Joe Shane has done to this organization, that they are expected to play like this. And they're okay with it. They've taught their players, they've taught their coaches, they've taught their ownership what it means to be a loser. And there's no other way. We can't sit here, Anthony, and pretend like these guys know how to win. There are select few players that know how to win football games on this football team. A few guys that are as frustrated as we are, right? But they don't have discipline, and they don't have the wherewithal or pride to play. I mean, Spencer Rattler before this game literally took shots at Shane Bowen in the secondary, and the secondary came out and let him carve them to pieces. Spencer fucking Rattler. And we're supposed to sit here and pretend like there's positivity with this organization. Pretend. I'm not pretending, guys. I'm not pretending about this bullshit anymore. There's no rhyme or reason for us to sit here and pretend like we care or think for a second that this team can be good. Because they can't be until they have a regime in here who demands excellence, that demands winning. Last week was an anomaly.
We are talking about a New York Giants team that turned the ball over 5 times. I'm going to continue to repeat that stat because they had 5 drives in a row end with turnovers. Sure, the rookie had some mistakes, but nobody even tried to help Jackson Dart in this one. You had penalty after penalty on the offensive line, penalty after penalty called against the defense. You had dropped passes. You had receivers not finishing their routes. Jackson Dart throws a pick, intended pass for Bo Collins. Bo Collins didn't even finish his route. And you had Bo Collins out there starting for the New York Giants. You had undrafted rookie wide receivers out there playing significant snaps for the Giants. Even though Malik Neighbors tore his ACL 7 days ago, the Giants made 0 moves to add any receiver talent to this roster. I'm not even talking about going out there, making a trade or signing anybody in free agency. Didn't call up a single player from the practice squad. And you wonder why the Giants offense goes out there and looks inept, why they have nobody who seems capable of imposing any sort of will on a terrible New Orleans Saints secondary. And yes, I mean terrible New Orleans Saints secondary that just handed a career day. The Giants handed a career day to Kool-Aid McKinstry, who was the 100th graded cornerback in football, according to PFF, going into this game. Yeah, you heard that right. 100. The Giants were playing up against the worst team in football and found a way to fall flat on their face. No Malik Neighbors, and this entire team just throws up on itself. That's what we saw today from the New York Giants, and that's what we are accustomed to seeing from Brian Daboll's rendition of the New York Giants. It's been embarrassing, rock bottom loss after rock bottom loss. And Daboll just continues to find ways to make things worse. And he doesn't get to answer for his crimes. He finds a pass. He finds a life raft every single time, but there's no more life rafts. You threw your rookie quarterback out there in week 4. You threw him out into the fire to save your job. You picked up a surprise win against the Los Angeles Chargers, and then you threw up on yourself on the road against the Saints in week 5. There's no more life rafts for Brian Daboll. This is inexcusable, and it's incompetence, and it's malpractice at every level of this organization. It's malpractice from the front office. It's malpractice from the coaching staff and even the players. Poor tackling, false starts, holding, dropped passes, spilling the ball out onto the floor and fumbling over and over again. It was an embarrassing performance from the Giants, but that is the status quo for Brian Daboll's Giants. And I'm tired of it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that is the obvious point, that this is as much coaching as it is execution from a player perspective, right? We cannot pretend that this team is coached at an even competent level. And Brian Daboll's at the head of it, right? Look, you could blame Mike Kafka, you can blame Shane Bowen, you can blame Manuel, you can blame anybody you want, but there's only one guy that answers to it at the end of the day. It's Brian Daboll. And at this point in time, he is not only on thin ice, he's on life support. Okay? They're just waiting to pull the plug. Brian Daboll at this point in time, honestly, I don't know what you do if you're Daboll. If you are a head coach of the New York Giants on Monday morning after a performance like this, you have to make a decision. You either do whatever it takes to try and put something positive on the field to save yourself, or you just walk into the sunset. Like, he is gone. I just don't know when. You know what I mean? I just don't know when this is going to happen. But I mean, Anthony, how do you keep both of these guys? How do you keep Joe Shane and Brian Daboll? Like, you can't make. I just don't see how they both get kept. I think they both have to go. Everybody.
You're wondering when it's going to happen. It should happen right now. You just lost to Spencer fucking Rattler. Leave the head coach in New Orleans. Leave him there. It's over. Head coach of the year in 2022 does not save you from this shit. You cannot excuse this. Leave him in New Orleans and find someone else to get the Giants through the season, reboot, relaunch into the 2026 offseason, move on, and find a new direction to go in. Because what the Giants have been doing for 4 years is not working. And to continue and try the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. No more of this. Leave the head coach in New Orleans. Let the GM finish out the year, sure. But we all know it's the witching hour for this Giants regime. If you're cutting ties with the head coach, you're probably cutting ties with the GM who brought the head coach over here. It's done. I'm tired of this, Alex. We've been doing this for far too long. We've seen this team churn in head coaches, coordinators to scapegoat head coaches, players to scapegoat coordinators and head coaches. It's always a scapegoat, one after the other. They're so strategic.
Everybody has to go.
In their PR to find somebody to lay down on the cross for them. Look in the mirror. It's you. You're the problem, Daboll. You're the problem, Shane. You're the problem. The entirety of ownership and the New York Giants just can't seem to realize it. How many fans have called for changes? How many analysts, reporters, the fan? It doesn't matter. Everybody can see it plain as day except for those inside of this building. And that tells you the kind of tunnel vision that this organization has had for far too long. And I want it to end. Where is the light at the end of this tunnel? We've been searching for it. We keep walking through this tunnel and we just can't find the light. But I am so sick and tired and I'm ready to blow up this damn tunnel. It's time to make changes.
It is. And to answer a question in the chat, y'all still thinking the coach was the problem this game? No fucking competent coach would ever have a unit turn the ball over on 5 straight possessions. If your skull is not thick enough to understand that, no good coaching staff would ever have a team that turns the ball over 5 straight times. That is a coaching issue, okay?
We are talking about a team that just lost to the New Orleans Saints. This should have been a game where the Giants ran up the scoreboard, not lost. They should have been a blowout. This is a New Orleans Saints team that has lost 10 games in a row with Spencer Rattler as their starting quarterback. And Alex, they were rolling into the season with a rookie head coach in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore out here out coaching Brian Daboll, a former coach of the year.
4 years of experience.
4 years of experience for Brian Daboll, and his team has almost 100 yards and penalties in this game and 5 total turnovers. And they allow Spencer Rattler to throw 20 of 30, 225 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 turnovers, and a 100 rating. That is a coaching problem.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to pinpoint blame on the cornerback didn't make the tackle. That's a coaching problem. The running back dropped the football. That's a coaching problem. It's all coaching problems. And the more that fans excuse the coaches because of the lack of player talent here, player talent there, you know what else that is? It's a GM problem. It's a team problem. This is a team sport. And so we can blame the coach. We can blame the players too. It's everybody. But at the end of the day, this is a wins and losses business. It's a results-based business. How does a head coach get judged? By that win and loss record. And the losses have piled up over the last 3 years, plus this 5 weeks of this season for Brian Daboll. Enough is enough. We can place blame on the head coach. He can get the tackling to improve. He can get the decision-making to improve. He doesn't do those things. So it's a coaching problem.
It absolutely is a coaching problem. I mean, anyone that does not acknowledge that, the people that are in this chat saying Daniel Jones is so good are the same ones right now saying this wasn't on Brian Daboll. Who the hell is it on then? You know what I mean? Like, who the hell is to blame? Today's loss was a lot of blame. The players, the coaches. But listen, this organization does not know how to win, okay? That is the most important thing to understand here. They do not know how to win football games. And part of that problem is that they don't roster the best players that they do have sometimes. We have Evan Neal on the roster right now, who's taking up a spot on the 53-man roster, but has not been fucking active for 5 weeks. Why the fuck is Evan Neal on this roster when we have 4 receivers going into the game? Insanity, bro. Someone took a fucking blender in Joe Shane's brain. Or Brian Daboll's brain. Somebody here has been blended because I do not get it. Jalen Hyatt is fucking horrible. He does not catch the ball. He does not fight for the fucking ball. He's not high-pointed. He is just a bad football player. I don't give a shit. He goes on Twitter, you're going to rue the day that you guys said I was bad. No, dude, you just don't play well. I don't understand. Like, you can't go on social media, talk shit, and do what you just did. Ball's going through his hands. Darius Slayton, dude, great teammate. Love ya. Awesome, dude. Bad football player. Volatile. Cannot catch. Does not come up big. You have your WR1 go down. I mean, Anthony, this is what really pisses me off. Malik Neighbors goes down. You just paid Darius Slayton $36 million. $36 million to be a security blanket, a backup option, just somebody to help elevate the floor if something happens to Neighbors. Veteran of 5 years. Gets the call. You're going up against the worst secondary in football. And he goes out there and plays like that. I don't even think Darius Slayton would disagree with me right now, saying that he was just horrible today. And he does not play. I really do not understand anybody that does not put blame on the coaching staff, does not put blame on management. This is a full-scale operational dookie. Okay, Anthony? There is not a single person to blame. I'm not going to blame Brian Daboll only or Jackson Dart only or this guy only. This is an organizational dookie. And they got to get some third-party plunger to get the shit out. Because they are just, you can't flush it. because it keeps coming back up. Keeps coming back up. This is a great analogy, by the way. Just shit keeps coming back up. They can't flush it. They need to get somebody to freaking plunge this shit. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck here not only the rest of the season, but for the future too. This whole coaching staff is gone. They're dead to rights. It is over. They had a playoff mandate, and they are 1-4, just lost to the Saints, gave Spencer Rattler their first win. They're dead to rights. It's done. It's over. They're gone. But I don't trust John Mara or anyone in that front office to make one decent decision on the future of this organization. I don't know who to trust anymore, Anthony. I don't know who. Who to trust. We have a long way to competency here, and we're in week 6 already. We have a Thursday night, a short week. Our team's banged up. Slayton left with a hamstring injury. Not that matters. But like our team's shorthanded. We're going up against the Eagles who just lost and are going to want to kick our ass and get back right. And we're going to be the get right game for them.
I don't even know where the Giants go from here. Listen, Brian Daboll was on a hot seat going into the season. It got really hot after an 0-3 start. He bought himself some time with a win last week over the Chargers, but a loss here against the winless New Orleans Saints. Not looking good for him. Not looking good for the New York Giants. This is just another lost season. It's October. You know, we shouldn't be talking about firings. We shouldn't be talking about moving on. We shouldn't be talking about the offseason, who the Giants can acquire. But it is, once again, just another miserable time here as New York Giants fans. I can't believe it. Week 5, October 5th, and we're talking about firing everybody. But hey, that's the new Giants way. We used to have the Giants way. The Giants way was to go out there and compete hard for 60 minutes, to grind out tough games and to find ways to win against opponents who, on paper, were better than you. The new Giants way is to start making mock drafts on the PFF mock draft machine by October 5th. That's the reality for New York Giants fans. But that's it, guys. That's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Giants are now 1-4 after just an embarrassing loss to the New Orleans Saints on the road here. Do make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed our live stream and reaction. A big shout out, though, before we get out of here to JCNYC for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, saying, knows Daboll sucks, Scatterboo fumbled, Dart dropped the ball. That's not coaching, that's on players. They were close to scoring twice, but the coaching staff did not help them score twice. The coaching staff did not make the right adjustments. That's going to wrap it up. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell so you don't miss an episode. And do make sure to tune in to our next live stream. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and good night.
Perfect.